Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the CD guy, Johnny Z here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel, and today we're talking all things Iron Maiden as they kicked off the 2024 leg of the Future Past Tour at the RAC Arena in Perth, Australia, playing their first gig since Power Trip Festival on October 6, 2023. So almost a full year in between shows there. Did anything change between this leg of the tour and the last? One thing I was most curious about is, would the set list change a little bit? Would there be a little bit of variety compared to the first leg? Sometimes Iron Maiden, in between legs of the tour will add or replace a track. So I was interested in, if they would add or replace any songs here. But you guys can see the set list right over here. It's the same as it was for the first leg of the tour. Track number 1, Caught Somewhere in Time. Number 2, Stranger in a Strange Land. The Writing on the Wall. Days of Future Past. The Time Machine. The Prisoner. Death of the Celts. Can I Play with Madness? Heaven Can Wait. Alexander the Great, Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden, then the Encore, Hell on Earth, The Trooper, and Wasted Years. Very strong set list there, and I mentioned this when I covered the first night of the first leg of the Future Past Tour, is I would make a couple of changes to the set here. In particular, I could do without Can I Play with Madness, and I definitely think Hallowed Be Thy Name should be in the set list. It's the greatest Iron Maiden song of all time for my money, and absolutely their live pinnacle as far as I'm concerned, so definitely a song I would add to the set. And as for the Writing on the Wall, I know they're playing a lot of new stuff from their most recent album, Senjutsu, but that's a song that I think has become overplayed very quickly. They did it on the final leg of Legacy of the Beast, and I'm just kind of over that song by now, so I do think there are better songs from Somewhere in Time, or even from the new record, that they could add to the set list instead of that track. And again, Hallowed Be Thy Name is just a song that I don't think should ever leave the Iron Maiden set list personally, but aside from that, it's a very, very strong set list here, and I really can't complain. Bruce's voice sounds great here. Of course, he's been out doing the solo thing in support of the Mandrake project this past year, so he's always stayed in top form here and did some great solo shows, so that's fine. And then the band themselves, have acknowledged that, playing some of the material from Somewhere in Time for the first time in a while was a bit of a challenge for them on the first leg of the tour, but by the time they were done, things, of course, sounded much tighter, which was to be expected. A great example of this was Alexander the Great, never done before live, and then the band got better and better and more tight with that song as the tour went on, and so it usually does take the band a handful of shows to be fully warmed up. Here's one thing I really wanted to talk about. That's drummer Nico McBrain. Given his age and his mobility after his stroke, is doing the absolute best that he can. Nico himself has said that he has some limitations now. He can't really play the intro fill to the Trooper anymore, but, just like the rest of the band, give Nico a few shows to work out the kinks, and I think he'll be fine. We love Nico on this channel, and I give him a ton of credit. A year and a half ago, he could barely hold a drumstick, and here he is drumming for Iron Maiden, which is, by the way, not an easy gig, so I've seen a lot of comments online, and honestly, anybody who's giving Nico a hard time at this stage in his career is just being cruel and not appreciating the fact that, these guys are getting up there in age, but still giving us their absolute best. And, newsflash, all these guys are almost 70 or 70, nearly 70, and so to have them around still performing live is a gift in and of itself, so definitely don't take that for granted. And if Nico maybe can't, play certain parts anymore or struggling throughout, it's a problem, but it's not a big problem, and I would definitely rather Nico up there having fun, enjoying himself, giving us his absolute best, than the band replacing him with somebody younger, and then you have, this new guy in the band. I'd much rather have Nico McBrain up there personally, and so I think the hate and the, this disparaging comments that I've seen for Nico's performance on this particular show that we've seen, and, over the last, first leg of that tour, I think have been unwarranted, considering the fact that he's come back from a lot in a very short period of time, and as far as I'm concerned, still one of the best drummers in metal. Overall, and by the way, I'm absolutely biased, Maiden are my favorite band of all time, but their live show is second to none, and there's definitely a few kinks that need to be worked out due to them being off the road for nearly a year, but they should be totally fine and much tighter by the 4th or 5th show. Historically, that's shown that as well. The set list remains the same, which, is fine by me personally. Like I said, I could do without Kind of Play with Madness and Writing on the Wall, and I do wish Hallowed Be Thy Name was in the set list, but considering the amount of tracks from Somewhere in Time that they, don't do often, and the new stuff from Senjutsu, I'm not complaining at all. So that wraps up this video here. Just wanted to share my thoughts briefly on Maiden's first show since October 2023 with Power Trip, so nearly an entire calendar year, but Maiden are back on the road here, and, I can't wait to see them live in a couple of months. I've been waiting all year for that, so I was definitely interested in seeing how the band would sound kicking off this new leg of the tour, and if any changes would be made, but everything seems to be status quo, and I'm totally fine with that. Positivity all around here. Iron Maiden are back on the road, and that is a good thing always. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, turn on the bell for notifications so you don't miss a new upload, and let me know down in the comment section below what are your thoughts on Maiden's performance in Perth, Australia, their first show in nearly a calendar year. I definitely want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the Setlist, NICKO's performance, and will you be seeing Maiden on this current leg of the Future Past Tour? Definitely let me know all that good stuff down below. And until next time, it's the CD guy, Johnny Z, signing off. Take care, everybody.